How did Lili Reinhart's childhood insecurities push her into a major career change? Did Cole Sprouse really pursue acting to help his struggling mom financially? And how did being bullied help Madelaine Petsch develop a passion for acting? Hi, I'm Janet. Lili Reinhart. When Riverdale first premiered 4 years ago, we're pretty sure that none of the cast members saw their lives changing as drastically as they did. All of a sudden, they went from young aspiring actors to a world of red carpets, tabloid headlines, and Twitter trolls. And while it seems like they were all born for the limelight, behind all of the glitz and glam are a bunch of kids who had a dream, much like you. Just ask Lili. She almost never pursued acting at first. Let's throw it back to September 13th, 1996, where Lili Pauline Reinhart was born in Ohio. She is one of 3 kids. She has 2 sisters, Tess and Chloe, and you can see them make some rather adorable appearances on Lili's Instagram. Now, Lili's dad is a well-known basketball and soccer coach in their hometown, so it was unsurprising that he wanted Lili to pursue a career in sports. But our girl wasn't so keen. Turns out she had more of a thing for the stage than for the sports field. She wanted to perform, but it wasn't acting that she was after. It was dancing. That's right. While we all know Lili to be the outstanding actress that she is, turns out that Lili's first love at the time was actually dancing. But she quickly saw that dream drift away when her own insecurities got the better of her. Even from a very young age, Lili suffered from body dysmorphia. She was constantly comparing her body shape to her other classmates and began giving into her deepest insecurity that she was not small enough to be a dancer. From the age of 18, Lili decided to give up on her dream of becoming a professional dancer and decided to rather pursue an acting career. My mom would take off work to take me to auditions because they believed in me, which is a very big leap of faith, shared Lili. And well, the rest was Hollywood history. Cole Sprouse. Now that we've already talked about Lili, it's time we talk about Cole. We couldn't really talk about Lili without mentioning him, right? I mean, we plan on standing this couple forever, whether they are on or off. But before we get sidetracked by these two's tumultuous love, we thought we'd take it all the way back to 1992, when 2 of the cutest twins, Cole and Dylan, were born, with Cole arriving 15 minutes after his brother Dylan. But the fact that Cole is the younger twin isn't even the most surprising fact about these 2. Did you know that the Sprouse twins weren't even born in America? We know, right? They were actually born in Arezzo, Tuscany. At the time of their birth, Cole and Dylan's parents were working in an Italian school as English teachers, so Cole definitely has some Italian roots. But they don't go very deep, because at just 4 months old, the Sprouse family decided to move back to their home in the United States. They settled on Long Beach, California, and as soon as the boys turned 8 months old, their mom put them in acting classes. But it was less about finding the boys' passion and more about the family's financial situation. In a now-deleted Tumblr post, Cole shared how he ended up pursuing acting to save his family from debt. "My brother and I were put into acting when we were 8 months old by our mother because we needed money. I never made the decision to join the arts or acting specifically, and so it was never really my passion," Sprouse said in the post. He also shared that he doesn't think he would have ever gone into acting if his mom had not convinced him to. Cole's mom immediately got them an agent and paired off the brothers as the perfect duo. And as we know, it totally worked in their favor, because within a few months, they would be all over the silver screen. And while Cole may have never really wanted to be an actor at first, we just couldn't imagine Riverdale without him. So thank you to Cole's mom. We're forever grateful. Madelaine Petsch. If you think Maddie was anything like her badass character Cheryl Blossom, then you're in for a surprise, because Madelaine is definitely more girl next door than savage AF. And if you look back on her childhood, you can see why. 27 years ago, Maddie was born in Washington to South African parents. This meant that growing up, Madelaine would split her time between both America and South Africa. But with Maddie spending quite a bit of time outside of the US, she quickly developed a thick South African accent early on, and it didn't go down well with her American school peers. Kids relentlessly bullied her for her accent, so much so that she began practicing an American accent at a young age to stop the bullying. But the bullying wouldn't end there. While her vibrant red hair has made her iconic in Hollywood, back in the day, her red hair was another reason for kids to bully her. At one point, she even considered dyeing the tips of her hair brown to match the ombre style of her classmates. My mom was like, "If you do that, I'm disowning you," she said. And so, to help her find her confidence, Madelaine's parents enrolled her in acting classes. This is where everything changed. She was absolutely obsessed after being cast of Sheree Khan in a community production of The Jungle Book. After a standing ovation, she knew that she had found her calling. And while she hated the bullying, Maddie is grateful that it forced her to find her own sense of confidence and a deep love for acting. We love this for her. Camila Mendes. We all know and love Camila in her role as the super bougie queen of Archie's heart. But if you're anything like us and enjoy doing a deep dive into all things Camila, then you will realize that the 27-year-old actress is a lot more humble in real life. Born in Charlottesville, Virginia, Camila was the second daughter born to Brazilian parents Victor, a business executive, and Giselle, a flight attendant. But her childhood wasn't exactly sunshine and rainbows. When Camila was 8, her parents decided to get divorced, and she moved in with her mom and older sister. The three of them lived a pretty nomadic life, where they continued to travel throughout the South of America. In fact, Camila did the math, and it turns out that she lived in 16 different places throughout her childhood. Eventually, though, Camila's mom decided to put down some roots and move her family to Florida. After enrolling at a local school, Mendes got a taste for the limelight, and she was hooked. She was cast in a production of The Turkeys Go on Strike. But don't get it twisted, she may play a super rich popular girl on Riverdale, but her role in this production was a whole lot less glamorous. See, Camila was actually cast as a cranberry. Yes, as in the fruit. But it wasn't going to stop her from being the best cranberry out there. I was really committed to the choice and to the emotion, and to being a really sad cranberry. The audience was laughing, and I started to get a kick out of it, realizing people enjoy this, she admitted. According to Camila, her mom noticed how eager she was to entertain the crowd and decided to enroll her at a private arts program. From there on out, it was straight to Hollywood for the dark-haired beauty and a life permanently in the spotlight. Oh, and if you're enjoying all of this content, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can get exclusive insider deets on all of your faves. Vanessa Morgan. If we are being completely honest, we couldn't see any other actress taking on the role of Tony Topaz other than Vanessa. I mean, she was honestly born for this role, and fans honestly can't get enough. With her killer pink locks and badass style, who wouldn't be obsessed? But it turns out that Vanessa was a little farther from Hollywood than you would think. Did you know she was actually born in Ottawa? Yup, Vanessa is Canadian. But that doesn't mean that she doesn't recognize that she's also part Scottish and East African. In a tweet, she shared how proud she is of her heritage. Yes, I'm Canadian, but my mother is Scottish and my father is East African. So yes, I'm mixed, tweeted the actress. From a young age, it was very clear that Vanessa had a major talent, but it wasn't acting that was on young Vanessa's mind. It was actually singing. Vanessa would often sing at local community events and telethons, belting out some of her favorite songs. She was also a regular guest entertainer for the College of the Desert Scholarship Foundation. But when we say Vanessa can sing, we really mean it. In 2000, she even won first place in the African American vocal competition. But talents didn't end there. She had conquered singing, and she was showing no signs of stopping. Next up on her list, pageants. Vanessa was a natural-born winner as she walked away, having won a Junior Miss America pageant. After collecting her award, Vanessa was on to the next thing. But if you think she was ready to give acting a go, you'd be wrong. Vanessa was now going to try and give tennis a go. And as we can all predict, she absolutely nailed that too, securing a spot on the coveted NTA tennis program at the Ottawa Athletic Club. We know what you're wondering. When did Vanessa decide to pursue acting? Well, it turns out that as a child, Vanessa was just trying to find her passions, and it led her on a number of awesome adventures that she will never forget. So whilst most successful actors remember dreaming about a life in Hollywood, Vanessa was happy just to be a kid. But as we know, Vanessa eventually did decide to grace us with her TV presence after an agent spotted her. You know, after she received a philosophy degree at Queen's University. But do we expect anything else from Vanessa? I mean, she is a force to be reckoned with. KJ Apa. He has this addictive boyish charm, killer abs, and striking red locks that melt everyone's hearts. But there's more to Apa than his ridiculously good looks. Born in Auckland, New Zealand, Apa wasn't exactly like he is today. He had a much deeper accent and a much more reserved personality. The 23-year-old actor, whose real name is Kennedy James Fitzgerald, was raised in a mixed household with his European New Zealander mother and Samoan father, who was a Matai, otherwise known as a chief, of his village back in Samoa. But growing up in a multicultural home was a sore point for KJ, as he struggled to figure out his own identity. Growing up, he didn't feel like a full New Zealander, but wasn't in touch with his Samoan background either. So as an outlet, KJ began playing guitar and writing songs. At 14, he even recorded his first solo album with a bunch of original songs. He loved it so much that he wanted to fully pursue a life in the arts. And then, reality struck. Growing up, Appa was told that he needed to pursue a career that was more stable. Pursuing a career in the arts would never be an option. Everyone wants to be normal. No one wants to stand out. Creativity and absurdity in New Zealand are almost not accepted, said Appa. And so, KJ almost completely gave up on his dream to pursue a normal 9-to-5 job. But he wanted to prove everyone wrong. And so much like his fellow Riverdale co-stars, as soon as he turned 18, he was off to America and went straight into our hearts as Archie Andrews. We want to know whose childhood story shocked you the most. Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching!